For some, this is going to excite them. For others, they may roll their eyes, and that's okay. This is a viewer-requested episode that I'm calling The Search for Bigfoot. I have not seen anything like this ever within this forest. Something has scraped that off. My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. This is a viewer-requested episode that I'm calling The Search for Bigfoot. For some, this is going to excite them. For others, they may roll their eyes, and that's okay. Allow me to explain what's taken place and why I'm doing this episode, why it's been requested. So, over the last year or so, I've been coming up here to what I call the Green Forest. And over the last 2 years, I've had numerous odd experiences. The first odd experience began someplace on top of this mountain. I was hiking up and I came across what looked like a trail. And along this trail, all of the trees have been broken and basically like stacked, like leaned in a certain way. It was rather odd. A few months later, I was hiking to this location. I was coming through the woods and I startled something big. As soon as whatever it was heard me, it burst through the forest. You can hear it breaking limbs and snapping trees as it ran. Whatever it was huge. Then last week I came out here for a camping trip. I was inside of the tent. It was raining outside. It was beginning to storm. Basically, I was turning in for the night and I heard a grunt and it sounded like this. Woo! One time only, that's it. What was that sound? I have no idea. But many of you all thought it was Bigfoot. I have publicly stated previously that I'm not sure if I really believe in Bigfoot. I'm more of a skeptic. I am open-minded to it. It's always possible, but with my experiences out in the woods, out in remote areas, I've never had any sort of experience that I could contribute to being Bigfoot. If you happen to believe in Bigfoot, that's fine. I respect that. But for myself, I haven't seen what I needed to see to believe it. At the same time, I have not seen evidence that I believe really shows that Bigfoot exists. Over the years, I've been sent videos and pictures from viewers. 95% of the time, the footage you can't even make out. It's so blurry, so dark, I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. The other 5%, it's obviously fake. People in costumes doing weird stuff. Like, so clear, so goofy looking. It's hilarious. It looks like it should be from like a spoof movie or something like that. Anyways, for this episode, we are going to start here. This is where I filmed the overnight adventure last week. We are going to head up on top of this mountain and basically work our way around. As far as the conditions go, it's about 42 degrees right now. We have some snow and ice on the ground. Outside of the forest and above, it is very, very windy. I'm starting up my GPS now. That way, I can easily get back to this location when I'm ready. Additionally, on my phone, I'm firing up Gaia GPS, and I'm going to mark this location. Okay. Folks, let's begin. It is raining just a little bit. It's fairly light. Heavier rain will be coming in later this afternoon, though. Anyways, what I'm doing right now is very simple. I'm hiking through the forest. I'll be going slow. I'll be stopping. I'm going to be looking for anything that's out of place. Footsteps, feces, garbage, anything strange. With me talking to you all, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to walk up on something and surprise it. Basically, I'm looking for a sign of something, anything. There is snow on the ground. That's a good thing. If anything's been walking through here, I'll see the steps. That's an interesting spot there with the moss. Something has scraped that off. Something rather large. Could have been a black bear. Speaking of the animals that are in this forest, we have black bear, we have some deer, bobcats, the occasional mountain lion, coyotes. And that's about it, really. We have some smaller game, of course. But as far as the big ones, that's it. I'll tell you one thing, it is quiet out here. Not the only thing that I hear is the wind blowing, that's it. I'll tell you one thing. There are some really unusual trees out here. Check this one out. It has ferns growing on the top. And check out all this dry wood down here at the bottom. We could burn that if we needed to, plus all of this on the inside. I just noticed another spot where the moss has been torn off this tree. And check that out. Claws have gone through that. Huh. Sure do love this landscape. It is gorgeous out here. Speaking of which, I cannot say where this is at. It's a secret. That may anger you. That's fine. But the last thing that I want is 500,000+ subscribers out here stomping around. You know what I mean? I mean that with all respect, of course, and I'm sure you understand it. Thought I heard something. Thought I heard a branch break. I could have. It is windy, but it sounded lower down. As it stands right now, it's beginning to rain just a little. It's like hitting the top of the trees and just kind of splattering down on top of me. Every time I come out here, I talk about how beautiful this place is. I can't help it. It is just stunning. Okay. We just came across our first pile of bear scat. It's frozen, but it's recent. That's a few days old. Okay, so check this out. There's a game trail through here. Oh yeah. We came up from this way and just hopped on this trail, but it goes from over there to over here. Let's follow it for just a bit. See if we can spot any tracks or anything. Oh yeah, check this out. The bear's been coming this direction and going over this fallen tree. All of the moss has been knocked off. The trail continues through the woods here. I'm going to stop following this and head up towards the top of this mountain. So check this out. We came this direction, but there's another trail over here. Okay, let's follow it for a second and then we'll deviate and go towards the top. Okay, here we have a deer track. I have not seen any deer scat yet, but they're definitely out here. Man, this forest is thick. It's water time. The GoPro does a very poor job of showing you all just how steep this is, but I can tell you, it is steep. Very rocky, it's steep, it's hard going. Plus, with the snow and the ice on the ground, it's slick. Now, I decided to stop following the bear track, and that's because I don't want to mess with the black bear right now. It is extremely late into the winter. Spring is almost here. The thing is this, we really haven't had a winter, so I don't know if that bear is hungry. I don't know if it's looking for food. It might be extremely ill-tempered. I don't know. What I do know is that it's best not to mess with it. The squirrel's been eating up here in this tree, dropping the shells down. you could see how dense this forest is. Everything here is fighting for light, and because it's so dense, there's so much growth. There's also a lot of death. So the forest is just covered in dead limbs, trees that are falling over. Okay, I almost stepped on it, but there's a coyote track right here. So you can see that. Now I'll tell you this much, everyone. This forest is huge. This is not something I can explore in a day or 3 days or a week. It's going to take time. As I mentioned, this forest is thick, really, really thick. One thing that makes this area so complicated to search is the fact that the forest is so dense, so thick. You really can't see more than maybe like 20-30 feet at a time. So there could be something right there and you wouldn't see it. Plus, everything is hidden in a sea of green. Let's continue going up this direction. We have somewhat of a game trail going up here. Come across a massive rock. It's huge. Look at the size of that. I will tell you all this, folks. Before I came out here today, I did a search about this area and Bigfoot, and I'm shocked to say this, but I found a ton of reports. This area apparently is a hot spot for Bigfoot activity. Every time that I come out for a trip, I will share with you all a story that I found online from this area. So if you find this sort of content interesting, hit the like button. By the way, everyone, try to keep it civil in the comment section. There's going to be those who think they've seen evidence of Bigfoot, those who don't believe. It doesn't matter, everybody. People could see things differently than you, and that's okay. I want you all to pay attention to this tree right here. This tree will be coming down in the future. You can see that light spot there. That's where the tree is cracked. As the stronger gusts go over top, you can hear it creaking. And you can actually see that crack getting larger. When you're in the forest, most of the time, that is what you have to worry about. Falling limbs and trees. That's what kills most hikers. It's not lightning, it's not bears, it's that. Okay, so I've come across a major trail. This is a big one. Look at that. This is a popular trail. All of the moss has been scraped off of this. There's no hair on this or anything like that, so I can't tell what's come through here. You may know this, you may not. When I was younger, I was quite the hunter, but as I've gotten older, I rather take pictures, personally. With that being said though, hunters are important. It's important to keep the populations of certain animals down. For example, the white-tailed deer in this area. Because if you don't do that, they'll become sick. All sorts of issues arise. In the end, it's just a good thing. I mentioned previously coming across a trail in this forest where like the limbs had been broken and stacked. The unfortunate thing is, everyone, I don't know exactly where that was at. I hiked through the area. I mentioned on the camera that it was interesting, and I just kept on going. I didn't even think about marking it on my GPS. We will come across it eventually, but who knows when. The thing is, I'm not even sure exactly where I was. I was hiking off trail, just exploring. Don't do that unless you have the capabilities to do so safely. The game trail that I was following has dissipated. Again, that's how it goes. Check this out. That is a rabbit's den. Nothing's in it at the moment, but there will be. It has an entrance and an exit. The forest is quiet. Not much has been going on, but the weather up here has been rather rough lately, so it makes sense that nothing's moving around. Plus, at this time, there's little vegetation. You may have seen it in the bear scat, but it had quite a bit of moss in it. Now, this is actually pretty interesting. Look what I've come across. A clearing. I have not seen anything like this ever within this forest. It's just about completely circle. That's wild. It's flat, clear, and open. And that's not what this forest is. That's definitely interesting. It proves nothing, but it's interesting. This is interesting enough that I'm going to mark this on my GPS. There's a trail that goes over here, and I'm not going to follow that. Right now, I'm trying to keep my search area rather tight. I don't want to get it too big because, again, this forest is so thick. If I'm not careful, I can make all of my searching absolutely meaningless. Especially if I decide to do more episodes of this in the future. Time for an update. We've been out here for an hour. I've begun making my way back around. And for our first search, I think that's pretty good. One thing that I want to do with this series, if I continue it, is to go slow. To be methodical. Because the forest looks like this, because it's so dense, so thick, going slow and doing this in short segments, that makes the most sense. So check this out. We have another tree that's been scratched on. All of this has been scratched loose. Yeah, going back to what I was saying there, if I do too much at one time as I continue to come out here, there's a good possibility that I'm going to get the sense that I've been there, that I've done that, and I may move on from the area before I'm truly ready. Think of it like an archaeologist digging up dinosaur bones, right? They don't go in with an excavator and just move everything all at once. They go slow. They do it methodically. This is a serious path through the forest. What I'm going to do is mark this on my map, and we will check this out again in the future. What I noticed that's different on this trail from the others is the fact that there's like broken trees here, but I can't find like the part that broke off. For an example, this tree has broken off, but where is the top part? It's interesting. Doesn't prove anything, but it's interesting. After last week's episode, last week's adventure, it was last week for me, but it wasn't for you because I filmed my videos in advance and then put them up. That way, if I get sick or something like that, I always have content for you all. Once that video went up, I had numerous questions about whether or not I was scared concerning what I heard. Startled, for sure. Scared, not at all. The thing is, I know this sounds stupid, folks, but I don't get scared. Anyone can get startled, but when it comes to like the forest, nah. I've pretty much seen just about every type of situation in the forest when it comes to events that are possible, storms, and so on. Animal encounters, all that good stuff. I'm very, very comfortable out here. So even hearing something like what I heard, it definitely startled me, but it didn't scare me. The plan is to head back to the beginning where I started at, and I'm going to have lunch. And once I have lunch ready, I will share with you all a Bigfoot report from this area. Now I could tell you all this stuff is wet, but I can get it to burn. Listen to the wood. There's enough of a snap that I can get it to burn, but it's definitely wet. And at the same time, it's somewhat raining. My friends, we'll have coffee and lunch here in no time. I am using the one Tigris, the mini stove. This is the wood stove that I cut a big hole in the side with my dremel tool. It's made from titanium, so it took some work, but I got it done. That modification took this stove from a 0 to, well, pretty close to a 10. It's actually pretty sweet now. If you haven't seen my modification video of this stove, make sure to check it out. It's a good one. And it's something that you can easily do yourself. This is what I'm having for lunch. Trek and Eat. And this is the beef casserole with noodles. A viewer sent this to me. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you. In addition to the food, we're having some French cafe, instant coffee, along with some Cafe Bustelo, and some Black Rifle coffee. All of this was sent to me from viewers. Thank you so much. The little taste test that I did there with the spoon was fantastic. I'm impressed already. Here we go, folks. Cheers. Cheers to Bigfoot, wherever he may be, or she. I know. Cheers, everyone. Oh yeah, that's good. It's good and strong. All right, everyone, I'm going to go over a Bigfoot sighting that's taken place in this area. This is really interesting. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a date on this, and I don't have good enough service to pull this up. I just copied this. This account comes from this area. A couple, they purchased some remote land to go camping on. And this land is so remote they can only access it with ATV. So the first night out, they began hearing screams close to their camp. This scared them, so they hopped on their ATV and they took off, leaving everything at the campsite. As they drove off, the husband turned around and saw something dark and close to 8 feet tall running behind them. According to the couple, they waited for over a week to return and get their equipment. It goes on here to state that they gave a Bigfoot research organization permission to investigate, but it doesn't state what happened after that point. I have some additional stories here, some that were in the actual newspaper, but I'm going to hold off on those until the next episode, if of course I decide to do one. So if you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button. That helps a bunch. This is going to be an interesting project if we decide to embark on this further. The thing is this, everyone, I'm going to go into this with a scientific perspective. I am a skeptic, I have to say. Again, I've never encountered anything in the forest ever. I've had some odd experiences. I've heard odd things, but nothing that I would say, oh, that was Bigfoot for sure. More than anything, I'm doing this episode and possibly this series for those who are interested to see what I find out here. My plan for the next episode, if I decide to do it, is to come back out here and basically retrace the steps that I've made. Hopefully at that time, the snow will be gone from the forest floor and I'll be able to see everything more carefully, more clearly. I'm also going to bring out 2 trail cams and set them up. I'm going to go back up there where I found that clearing, that big circle, and also that one very, very defined trail. I'm going to set up the trail cams and we'll see what we get. Again, everyone, we do have more rain on the way later on. So my plan is to wrap up lunch and then head out of here. That is fantastic. Well, I tell you what, everyone, I'm going to have lunch and I'm going to stop filming for now. I'll bring you all back when I'm done. That way the pacing of this episode's not thrown off. The primary focus is searching for Bigfoot. As far as what I've come across today, I've seen some interesting things, but nothing that leads me to believe that there's Bigfoot out here. Just because I haven't come across any tracks or anything like that doesn't mean a whole lot. This is a super large area, and we have plenty of time. All right, everyone, it is time for this trip to be done. It's beginning to rain now. We got everything done without getting soaking wet, so I consider that a win. My friends, I want to thank you all very much for joining me for this interesting episode. Again, make sure to sound off in the comment section and let me know what you think about this idea, this series. Is this something that you want to see more of? The search for Bigfoot. This is going to be interesting, especially once we get the trail cam set up. This forest has some secrets. They may not be Bigfoot, but there's some secrets out here. By the way, if you have any Bigfoot experiences to share, do so in the comment section down below. The Outdoor Gear Review community is amazing, so feel free to share openly. You're in good hands here, even if you see things differently than some people. Strength and honor, everyone. Bye for now. Due to popular demand, this is another episode of the search for Bigfoot. I'm back out here at the Green Forest and the search continues. So check this out, everyone. This county sheriff's department released a statement years ago, and it said that they had received a phone call from a local in the middle of the night. They saw a creature standing up on 2 legs that was over 7 foot tall, and it was covered in hair. And you can actually see claw marks right through here. My friends, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. As you all can hear, we have thunder. I've been standing out here for about 5 minutes just listening to the storm. That way I could get a good idea of like where the cell is at and where it's going. So as it stands now, it's 2 hours west and it's moving northeast. I think it's going to miss us. Due to popular demand, this is another episode of the search for Bigfoot. I'm back out here at the Green Forest and the search continues. In the previous episode, which I highly recommend that you watch, we came out here to the Green Forest, we did some exploring, and we came across some interesting signs in the forest. None that pointed towards Bigfoot, but rather a large black bear. If you didn't watch that episode, I highly recommend that you do. That way you get an idea of what this episode, what this series is about. This is a viewer requested series and I'm happy to do it. As I mentioned in the first episode, I am a Bigfoot skeptic, but there's many of you all who aren't, who firmly believe in it. Just to rehash everything, I've been coming to this area for numerous years. This is literally out in the middle of nowhere. This is what I call a secret gem. This is my secret place that I come to backpack, to camp, to explore. Anyways, everyone, oftentimes I come out here, I set up camp, I stay the night, and over the years, I've had a number of strange experiences. I spoke of those in episode 1, and I'm not going to speak of them again. I don't want to waste your time. So if you have questions about what's taking place here, watch episode 1. I have to admit, I wasn't really certain how the first episode would do. Talking about Bigfoot, this is a controversial subject, and it was one where I knew some people would be rolling their eyes and some people would be excited. From that first episode, my favorite comment was this. There was an individual, he stated that his wife was rolling her eyes and he was excited. I thought that was super funny. That's my favorite comment. I do want to say this, even though I'm a skeptic myself, I am open-minded enough to the possibility of Bigfoot being real that I'm willing to come out here to satisfy those who believe that Bigfoot's in this area. I'm willing to put in the time. We'll track the animals in the forest, we'll set up trail cams, we'll look for evidence. That's what this series is all about. Because of what we found in episode 1, I'm coming out here today with some trail cameras. We're going to hike to the top of this mountain, go back to those locations that I've marked on my GPS, and we will set up those cameras. And then in a couple of weeks, I will come back and check them. As I'm hiking along here, I'm looking for signs. I'm going slow, looking to see what I can come across. Already, I have found a few things. I found 2 locations where moss has been torn off of a tree. I also found some bark torn off of this tree. Now, unfortunately, because the forest is the way that it is, covered in this thick moss, I'm not going to be able to see footprints, foot tracks. So I have to pay attention to smaller details than that. It is a beautiful day. Right now it is 50 degrees. It's pretty warm, especially when you compare the conditions of today to the previous trip. The last time we were out here, the forest was covered in snow and ice. It was also raining. It's stuff like this that we have to pay attention to. So I came across this root that's exposed. And my question is, why is it exposed? And that's because something has come through here and torn the moss off of it. With the conditions for today, it looks beautiful, it is beautiful, but there are showers and thunderstorms surrounding me at the moment and also coming this direction. And because of that, I have my rain gear ready to go if I need it. With today's trip out here to the Green Forest, I'm not trying to follow my tracks from the previous trip exactly. And that's because that would be almost impossible to do. I can't track, I can't look for signs and stare at my phone at the same time. So I will be in the same rough area, the same vicinity, but that's about it. Now take a look at this, everyone. We have some coyote scat. You can see all of the fur. You can also see pieces of bone inside of this. We have some bone here and here. You might be able to hear that, the thunder. It's still rocking. That is deer scat. That is turkey scat. This is interesting. This is something I've noticed about this forest. And maybe you all could tell me what this means or what causes it. So pay attention to the moss here. You see this white spot? This is a piece of quartz. Why is it that I keep finding quartz rock on top of the moss? What does that mean? What causes that? It's not everywhere, but it's frequent enough for me to notice it. Since I'm here at this point, we have all of these fallen trees. Let's talk about this for a second. This brings up a really good point. So you could see all of these fallen trees, right? I received a lot of comments, a lot of questions about this, saying that I was overlooking evidence. That was evidence of Bigfoot. Unfortunately, my friends, fallen trees does not amount to anything, especially in a forest like this. This forest is extremely dense. And because it's so dense, everything in here is fighting for sunlight. There's plenty of moisture, there's not much light. Because it's so dense, there's a lot of death. A lot of broken, dead trees. And it's just a simple fact that these trees are falling down in the wind. And they will fall any which way. Piles and piles of dead, fallen trees. In a forest like this, it means absolutely nothing. But I am curious, what about that quartz rock? There's another one. If you see some sort of correlation between those rocks and Bigfoot, shoot me a message. I would appreciate it. Or if you have a good theory as to why there would be quartz rock on top of the moss, I'd like to hear it too. I think we're back onto the game trail where I found the bear poop. Comes this way and continues this direction. I'll get my phone out here in a second and confirm that, or confirm this location. Oh yeah, here it is. So we have this fallen tree with all of the moss scraped off. Another piece. Very interesting. Look at this, everyone. More quartz rock right on top of the moss. My theory is that with the moss growing up from the ground, maybe it picks up these little rocks and brings them to the surface. I don't know. That's the only thing I could come up with. Comment down below, share your thoughts. Is this completely natural, or is this a sign of something? Or is this a trail for something? That is camera number 1, my friends. Let me go ahead and mark this on my map here. Trail camera 1. Let's keep heading up, folks. Still hearing thunder. It's pretty dark. by the way, everyone. Something else I received some messages about were piles of rocks. I'm not sure where those were seen at. I went through the video, I didn't see them. But unfortunately, piles of rocks don't count as evidence either when it comes to Bigfoot. This is a forest that people have been through. Obviously, not many people come to this area now, but there used to be some activity here. In fact, I've come across an old campsite. As you can see, it's covered in this moss, and this moss grows extremely slowly. That fire pit is decades old. I've even come across an old barbed wire fence. Let's focus on these fallen trees here for a second, and we'll talk about why this isn't evidence of anything. So we already spoken about how dense this forest is. At the same time, we are at high elevation for the East Coast, so we have sustained winds that are rather high all the time here. Plus you have to factor in snow loading. That's why you have fallen trees like this. That tree went down first, this one second, this one on top, and then you had this one go down. It may look strange, but in truth, there's nothing strange about it. Basically, what I want to find with this search is real evidence. Real evidence amounts to a clear video. That's what I need to believe in Bigfoot. Hearing something burst through the woods, that doesn't count. Hearing strange screams in the night, that doesn't count. Piles of rocks, sticks, doesn't count. You can hear that squeaking sound? It's making that noise because the tree is fractured. More thunder. This might be one of the spots I wanted to put a camera at. But we're close. This is a very impressive game trail here. You can see how it goes through and then over here as well. Let's go ahead and let's put another camera here. Look at how all of this moss has been torn off. That's recent. And you can actually see claw marks right through here. Trail camera 2. Okay. It's set. The thing about this forest, everyone, with it being so dense, so thick, it can feel like somebody's out here watching you or something, and you're not going to know because you're not going to see them. Visibility is about 20 feet. That's about it. This is interesting, folks. While not recent, this fallen tree, which is quite large, has been moved. You could see here where the tree used to be, but now it lays over there. The same applies here. This piece has been moved. Someone rather strong moved that. That's interesting. Really interesting. So the trail forks, it goes this way and also this way. Because of that, I'm going to set up my trail cam right here and hopefully catch all of the action that's coming down this mountain. Trail camera 3. I wish I had more trail cameras, but unfortunately I don't. So I'm going to have to pick where the last one goes. Now there is that big clearing up in the forest, but I think for now I'm going to let that be. When I was up there, I didn't see any tracks or anything, so I have it marked on my map if I need to come back to it. What I want to do now is backtrack and head down the mountain. There's one more trail. If I can find it, that's what I want to put the trail camera on. The trail is very substantial. It's rather large. And it seemed like I had a lot of activity on it the last time I was here. So let's go back and let's put the camera there. Okay. Now, I did see one comment in the last video that I found very interesting. Somebody said that you can't use trail cameras to capture pictures of Bigfoot because Bigfoot has infrared vision. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that's so far out there, you know what I mean? Something that I've begun to notice is that a lot of people who believe in Bigfoot contribute like supernatural elements with the creature that explain why it's never been seen, captured on trail cameras, and so on. And a lot of it, unfortunately, just doesn't make any sense, at least for myself. If Bigfoot exists, it's an animal, it's a creature, and it doesn't have like psychic powers like some people state. More than likely, it doesn't have infrared vision, which allows for it to see trail cameras, like some have stated. You can see how the soil's been torn up. I had some people write in saying that like looking for Bigfoot is the same as like summoning a demon. That's their words. They said by going into the forest, I'm not going to find Bigfoot. Bigfoot is going to find me. Again, for myself, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Something's come through here and it was large enough to take the moss off and also a chunk of wood. More than likely this was a deer, judging by the size of this. It's taking a chunk out here and a smaller piece over here. Whoa. Check this out. Look at the size of this piece of moss that's been torn off. Whatever's come through here was huge. Oh look, here's another patch. That's interesting. That is very, very large. That could have been caused by a black bear right there. You could see here, this is actually part of a trail, but it's not the trail that I was thinking of. The trail goes over here and also this way and funnels through here. I actually like the looks of this, so I'm going to set up that last trail cam right here. Hopefully capture whatever's going up and down through here. It is time for a water break. As it stands, all of the trail cameras have been put out. I've already been out here for about 2 hours, and I've only covered a little bit more than half a mile. That's how slow my pace is. That's how methodical I'm being. I almost forgot. I have to mark this. Trail camera 4. Something that's interesting, everyone, it just dawned on me that I haven't seen quartz on top of the moss at all. It's only in that one section over there. That's a little bit strange. I just don't know. I do not know. I am incredibly thankful that I've stayed dry so far on this trip. So far, so good. I'm so accustomed to going home with just like a ton of wet gear and clothing. This is actually pretty nice. Folks, I've come across something. This is interesting. Initially, I saw this nail. Check that out. 187. Here's another one. 191. 193. This one's laying on the ground. 5,231. Now, I know what these are. The question is, do you? This is what you would call a tree tag. Sometimes the Forestry Service use these. Researchers can use them. It's interesting. I would say this is part of a research project. I mean, they could be decades old. We have galvanized nails. These are made from aluminum. It's interesting. I wonder what exactly they're researching out here. Possibly the life cycle of these trees. I don't know. I don't see any more. It looks like it's just a small patch right in here. And that's it. That is interesting. You just never know what you're going to find in the forest. Well, everyone, I believe it is time to wrap up this adventure. This one's going to be short and sweet, to the point. We came out here, we dropped off the trail cameras, we set those up. Now it's time to wait. Make sure to comment down below and share your thoughts about the findings that we've had today. What do you all think about the pieces of quartz on top of the moss? That's strange, everyone. It's strange and I can't explain it. My question is, can you? Comment down below, shoot me an email. I do appreciate it. Oh, by the way, in the previous adventure, I had mentioned that after I had some experiences out here, some odd experiences, many of my viewers thought it could be Bigfoot. So I started looking up this area and I discovered that this area has a ton of Bigfoot reports. In the first episode, I shared one of those reports, and now I will share one more. So check this out, everyone. This county sheriff's department released a statement years ago, and it said that they had received a phone call from a local in the middle of the night. It was him, his wife, their child. They were cruising down the road and they saw something. They saw a creature standing up on two legs that was over 7 foot tall, and it was covered in hair. And the creature didn't move until they drove past it. That is a very interesting report. What do you all think about that? All right, folks, I am done. I'm going to go set up camp, have lunch. It's actually it's going to be a late lunch. It's about 4:30 now, so make sure to hit the thumbs up before you go. It does help the channel. Everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor. Also, make sure to keep it civil in the comment section. Again, this is a controversial subject. I get that. I do want to say this. With this series, I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. I mentioned before that I'm a skeptic, and I'm not going to try to change anyone's mind. People are going to believe what they want to believe, and I respect that. Anyways, everyone, be good, be safe, strength and honor. My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. As it stands right now, there are cells all around me. I'm hearing thunder from every direction. Here in a few minutes, we'll be going off trail and we will be searching for the trail cameras that I've put up here in the forest. This is the final episode of the search for Bigfoot. It has been almost a month since I was out here last. And I have to say, everyone, I am excited to find out what is on those trail cams, if anything. It's getting closer. Luckily, I'm in the forest, my friends. I'm protected by the trees. Okay, what I need to do here is open up my GPS app so I can go to the locations where I've placed the cameras. Hopefully you all can see that, but I have the 4 locations there. I also have some additional spots that I've marked on this map. As I go searching for the cameras, I do have a few points that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about my experiences here at this location. I'm going to talk about the theories that have been proposed by you all. I'm going to talk about some of the evidence that viewers have sent in based upon the previous episodes that I've put up. Just in case you haven't been following the series, this is part 3. There is a part 1, which I go into a lot of detail about the experiences that I've had here. In part 2, I came out, I set up some trail cameras. This is part 3, and in this episode, we're getting those trail cameras. We're going to see what's on there, if anything. I guess I should say this, I hope to get the trail cameras. I can't imagine that somebody would actually come out here because this is out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows where this is at. This really is a secret gem, but hey, anything's possible. We do have black bear in the area, and they've been known to eat a trail camera or two, so who knows? All right, let's begin the hike to the first camera. It looks like it's straight ahead. Hopefully, I'll find these trail cameras before a really strong storm hits. As far as the temperature goes today, it is perfect. Up here, we're about 5,500 feet. It's about 58 degrees. Feels good. Something has been through here. There's a piece of moss. It's been torn off. It's laying in an odd spot. It's just a sign that something's out here. As I mentioned in the previous episodes, we have quite a few predators out here. Bears, bobcats, the occasional mountain lion. Some say the occasional wolf, but I've never seen one myself. Plus, we have a ton of deer, lots of turkeys. Those aren't predators, of course, but we've actually missed the camera by just a bit. It should be over here. There are so many paths through this forest. Some of these are game trails. Some of these are water passages. The GPS says I should be right at it. And there it is, right there. Okay. The memory card's in it, that's good. Says there's 84 clips in total. Okay, well, let's stop there. Let's grab another camera. Hopefully we can find it. Camera number 2 is up here on the mountain. Let's now head towards it. I do need to say again that I'm a Bigfoot skeptic, but I'm open-minded enough to hear people out. And let me tell you what, since I started this series, I've heard from a lot of people. So many people, in fact, that I'm more confident than ever that Bigfoot does not exist. And I will explain why that is shortly. With that being said though, I have talked to quite a few level-headed individuals, and I believe that some of these people have experienced something. Out of the thousands of emails that I've received about Bigfoot, Sharon and Jim are the only two who have written in and just like absolutely lost it. I mentioned in the previous episode in part 2, if there is a Bigfoot, more than likely it's not a spirit, it's not a demon, it's some sort of creature, some sort of animal. To me, that makes sense. If you're going to say that it's a supernatural spirit or entity or something, you remove the ability to reason with people. If something has special powers, and that's why it can't be seen, you can never argue whether it exists or not. I will have to say that Jim was the most interesting character that I spoke to. He became really, really nasty. It was interesting. He got mad that I said that it wasn't a spirit or something. He started talking about like religion, and he went on to rip me a new one and basically showed me that he had no concept of what his religion was. It's really bizarre. And to be honest, I find that sort of stuff funny. It is what it is. I've stated it before, and I'll state it again. One thing that I don't do is argue with stupid. I'm never going to argue dumb, pointless things. I'm just not going to. As I'm going through here, folks, I'm looking at the ground, I'm looking for signs, but I'm not reporting on them. If I see a gigantic footprint, I'll let you know, or something like really interesting. The focus of this episode is to find those cameras, to see if there's anything on there. There were a lot of people who were trying to give me reasons why Bigfoot could not be captured on a trail camera. Some people were saying they can't be captured by cameras in general. And every single one of these reasons went to something paranormal. This camera is around here somewhere. It is very, very close. Ah. Right there you have it, trail camera number 2. Let's fire this up. 56 captures. Where is the next camera? Let's look that up. what I have here is a piece of quartz. Now, that is one of the big mysteries for this area. What is this quartz all about? There were quite a few theories. There's not one theory that really answers the question of like why it's here. Partially yes, fully no. The thing is this, quartz is not commonly found on this mountain. It's a rarity. This mountain is covered in iron. Additionally, the quartz only seems to be on one side of one mountain. That makes it strange. There were theories about animals consuming them to help with digestion. That's a good theory, but why only quartz? Why nothing else? Also, where did they get it? That's one of those mysteries that will have to be solved another day. The next trail camera is right around here somewhere. It's incredible how dense this forest is and how quickly it changes. I saw that I had a number of questions about the placement of the cameras and why I did them so low. That's Trail Cams 101 right there for you. You place them down low so that they stay out of the line of sight. You either place them up high or down low. Unfortunately on this one you can't see what's on it, so there's no telling. We have one more camera to find. The final camera is going to be down here. Somewhere. I do want to say one more time that I'm sharing with you all my thoughts. You may see things differently, and that's okay. It's important to be able to have open discussions with people, to be able to disagree about things and not flip out. Okay, the last camera should be up here. The thunder is picking up. It looks like there have been 26 entries. Here in a moment, my friends, the coffee will be ready. It's a perfect afternoon. Cool, comfortable, raining. Thunder's in the distance. Gotta love it. In total, we've been investigating this area for a few months now. The cameras were out here for about a month. And in the end, I'm going to share with you all my thoughts about this place and whether or not I believe Bigfoot is out here. The answer is no. I do not believe Bigfoot is out here. What I believe that I have experienced is a black bear. In the very first episode of the search for Bigfoot, we came across a big, large pile of bear scat. And I do believe that is what I've experienced out here. A year ago or so, when I was coming out here for a camping trip and I startled something and it burst through the woods, it was more than likely a black bear. The yelling sound, the grunting sound that I heard, it could have been a bear. I really don't know, to be honest. The thing is about the forest, animals make strange noises. Things go bump in the night, that's just how it is. The quartz rock that I found is definitely weird, and I can't explain it. I have no idea what that's doing out here. Maybe there's a vein of quartz in that area and like the trees that are falling down are somehow bringing it up. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Oh yeah, it's hot and nasty, just the way I like it. By the way, everyone, we should talk about the evidence that some viewers have sent in from this location. So I've had maybe 10 or 12 viewers basically going over all of the footage that I've shown from this location over the last couple of years. And with those 12 individuals, they believe they've found some evidence that Bigfoot is here. Now, I've gone through all of their evidence and I personally do not see it. I've had individuals send in photos from this area, like super zoomed in, like 10,000%, and it's just dark blobs. Some have mistaken stumps for being Bigfoot. And one individual, he sent me some photos of faces. This individual stated that these faces came from one of the Search for Bigfoot episodes. I asked him about that photo, and I asked him to state what video and give me the timestamp, and the individual could not do it. Unfortunately, you have people out there who are willing to fake things, who are willing to do anything to prove that Bigfoot exists, and I'm not saying that he doesn't. All that I can say is that I don't think he's here. At the end of this episode, I will show every single photo on the screen, and if there's anything there, you will see it. Again, everyone, I'm not trying to prove the point that I'm right or that other people are wrong. To me, that doesn't matter. If there's something out here, I want to see it. If Bigfoot exists in this area, I want to see it. There's nothing in this forest that leads me to believe that Bigfoot is out here. I could be wrong, right? I'm open-minded. Speaking of which, I'm open-minded. If you have some evidence, show it to me. Out of the thousands and thousands of people that I've spoken to after putting up these episodes, not a single person can provide any evidence. Not a single piece of evidence. And I think that's a real shame. If you feel that you have some evidence to share, feel free to email me. I will not share it with anyone else. I may tell you that I disagree with your assessment, but hey, that's how it goes. That's life. People disagree. I mentioned at the beginning of this episode that I've heard from so many people, and that leads me to believe that Bigfoot does not exist. And I'll explain what I mean by that. I have spoken to people literally all around the world in so many countries, and these viewers feel like they've had a Bigfoot experience. A scientist will tell you that there's a big problem with this, because if there's that many people having experiences with Bigfoot, then why can't Bigfoot be found? Why can't a picture be captured? If that many people have had experiences and no evidence has been captured, it leads me to believe there's something else going on. And in my opinion, it is the human imagination. When humans become startled, when they're in fear, there's a wide range of actions that begin taking place within inside of the body. All sorts of chemical reactions, hormone levels fluctuate, and the mind races. And very easily, it's possible for one to have an experience that may not actually be taking place the way that they think it is. That is what I personally believe is taking place, and if you feel differently, that's okay. Comment down below, share your thoughts. Again, this episode, this series is not about changing anyone's mind. It was all about seeing what's out here in the forest. Already we know there's a black bear coming through the area. I don't know how frequent that bear is coming through the area, but we have found the bear scat. We know for a fact that there's deer out here. We know for a fact that there's coyotes out here. I've heard bobcats out here. There's foxes out here. We've heard them and seen them as well. The one thing that I believe that we haven't seen and haven't heard and haven't captured on camera is Bigfoot. And that, my friends, is where I'm going to end this episode. Coming up here in about 10 seconds, I will be showing all of the photos taken here in the green forest. Let's see what was on those trail cams after they were left out here for about a month. I want to thank you all for being so cool, so level-headed. Those that believe in it, those that don't, everyone really has gotten along very nicely, and I appreciate it. Also, I want to thank you all for making these some of the most popular Bigfoot videos on YouTube. I do appreciate it. So, folks, take care, be well, strength and honor. I am looking forward to coming back out here to do some camping. And if we have some experiences, we'll have them together. Bye, folks. Bye for now. My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. For this adventure, everyone, we are out here in a section of the green forest. There are roots, rocks, and fallen trees everywhere, and everything is super slick. That's because everything here is soaking wet. This is the third week straight of solid rain. There's water literally dripping from everything at the moment. As far as the conditions go today, you're looking at a chilly 43 degrees up here on top of the mountain. It feels incredible, but I have to admit, I'm a little bit chilly hiking around with all of this moisture and the wind. The winds are gusting up to 20 miles an hour, even inside of the forest. Everybody, it is a wet day, that's for sure. With my rain jacket, I went ahead, I took this off because I'm sweaty. I need to dry off. Even though this rain jacket is keeping me warm, it's best to dry out. That way I can put this on later and I'll be even warmer. What I need to do first, folks, is figure out exactly where I'm going to stay tonight. I have a tarp set up for this trip. I'm thinking this tree to this tree with the tarp going this way. The ground here is somewhat level, more so than anything else. It's not perfect, but it will certainly do. This area here is a perfect example of real-world off-trail camping. This is what it's like. Nothing's flat, nothing's even. There's roots and rocks all over the place. This is what you will have to contend with if you want to do what I do. Off trail, out in the middle of nowhere, far away from other people. What you need to get accustomed to is being satisfied with imperfect conditions. You may not have the best campsite out there, but take a look around. While certain areas suffer, other areas shine. And that is certainly true with this area here. we have a wind that is coming up from the south, basically going towards the north here. So I've done a shelf setup with the backside closer to the ground so it can block more air. I don't want to block all of the air, just 80% of it. Later on tonight, I'm gonna have a fire, and I'm counting on that air, that breeze, to blow the smoke away. To get this tarp set up, basically, I ran a line from this tree to this tree, and then I connected the tarp to that line. That's because the placements of the trees here for this type of setup, it just wasn't working out. This is the real world, that's how it goes. When something stands in your way, you adapt, and that's what I've done here. When you go to set up your tarp like this, you face some obstacles, you adapt. That is the modern terminology of bushcraft. Modern bushcraft is all about using a tarp, man-made products, in other words, using cordage. It's not about forgetting your cordage at home, killing 100 trees to make some line so you can tie up a shelter. Modern bushcraft is all about enjoying nature, working with it, and not destroying it. Yes, I could build a rustic shelter out of all of these trees. I could lay waste to this place and build something, but that's what it would require. If I was to build a bushcraft shelter with the materials here, it would absolutely destroy this place. And that is not something that I want to do. It's not something that you want to do. Anyways, folks, the shelter has been set up. Later on tonight, I will get my inner out and I'll put it underneath this tarp. If you saw last week's adventure, you know the inner that I'm talking about. Last week was a car camp. This week is a backpacking trip out in the middle of nowhere in this beautiful place. The other day I received an email from a guy named Carl. He said that he could tell the first sip of hot coffee was the best part of my trip. He could tell that I just loved that. Well, he's right and wrong. I do love the first sip. It is the best part. But this is not hot coffee. When I make coffee, I make it lukewarm. If I boil it, I put cold water in it. I do not like hot coffee at all. I like lukewarm coffee. I want it to be like 2 steps above cold. That's how I like my coffee. It sure is foggy, everyone. Foggy and wet. Still raining. Very, very light, but it's raining. Talk about a stark contrast compared to the last adventure. In that episode, it was like 82, 84 degrees. I was dressed for conditions like this. For a lot of that trip, I was miserable. It was so hot and so humid. And now, 40, it's about 40 degrees. Breezy, cool, still wet. That part hasn't changed. But this is nice. I am going to cherish this. Every single minute that I'm out here, I'm going to cherish it. Summer is right around the corner. It's about to get super hot. Well, maybe. Warm to me, probably not hot to you. I'm a little bit over dramatic as far as that goes. Here in the mountains, hot is like 80. So I'm spoiled. I knew it. It's okay. Talking about the adventure last week, that was some trip. If you didn't see it, storms came in 3 o'clock in the morning. Basically, it was a storm system that had been racing through Kentucky, dropping tornadoes. So 3 o'clock in the morning, it hit. I have to admit, there was a couple of times where I was a little bit nervous about what was coming my way. The sky was just non-stop flashing. Severe thunderstorm warning in place. All the counties around us were tornado watched. The thing is, folks, the chance of rain that night was only like 40%. The chance of rain and storms, 40%, that's it. We got hit hard, really, really hard. Not as hard as some of the areas around us, thank goodness. Thank goodness for me, unfortunate for them. There were quite a few lives lost. I want to say 23, something like that. It's terrible. I want to thank you all very much for your continued support concerning my mom. All of the kind messages and emails, I really do appreciate it. The latest with her is this. And just in case you don't know, she was diagnosed with brain cancer 3 months ago. She was given 3 months to live. It's been 3 months. She's been doing well, how do I say that? It's as awful as you can imagine it. And basically, it's gotten to the point where we can no longer care for her at home. So she has made the decision, along with us, to be put into like a nursing home, basically until the end. So hospice is involved, of course. They have been for 3 months, and they are amazing. Thank God for hospice. I wish I could tell you that this was my first go around with them, but it's not. But yeah, it's an awful thing. So, again, thank you all so much for the support. I do appreciate it. Let's see if I have enough service to check the weather for tonight. So far, no. I'll give it some time to see if it will update. If it doesn't work, the last time that I looked at it, it stated that later on tonight, rain and thunderstorms. Excessive rainfall is possible that could lead to flooding. That's from the National Weather Service, who is wrong 75% of the time, so we'll see what happens. As far as the time goes, it is 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We have a couple hours of light left, but it is dark up here. It is dark and moody and ominous. I do want to say concerning my mom, she really has accepted it. There have been some rough times, yes, especially as the cancer has done its thing to her brain. But, I mean, she's done her best to make this as easy on everyone as possible. And, she still has a really good sense of humor about it all. It's kind of hard to tell, like, what's her sense of humor and what is, like, the cancer talking. Because, like, sometimes what she says is just insane. It's just crazy. But we were talking to her about going into the nursing home because, like, we just cannot care for her without hurting her. You know, she needs, like, professional help. Anyways, we were talking about, do you want to have a roommate or a private room? She had the option. And she wants to start with a roommate and see how that goes. You know, someone to talk to. And she says, I hope it's a man because I'm going to jump his bones. That's funny. My mom and dad, they're divorced. But my dad's still caring for her because he loves her. But they divorced when I was, I don't know, 18, something like that. But they've remained close since then. But, yeah, a really great sense of humor. She also said that she wants to rent herself out to people. Not for sex, but I'm not really sure for what, to be honest. I'm not sure what that meant. All of us in the room were like, what? Oh, man, it's funny. She also wanted to rent a U-Haul and have her friends drive it around with her in the U-Haul and basically go across the country having adventures. Too funny. As you all can see here, I have set up a center line underneath this tarp. That way I can get items off of the ground, such as my chest rig, this light, and so on. That's right, everybody. I do have a brand new ridge light. The original one lasted 3 or 4 years. Honestly, I can't believe it lasted that long, really. How many rainstorms, how many snowstorms did that thing go through? A ton. It just kept on going, even when it was soaking wet, over and over and over again. This here is the best $30 I've ever spent. I mentioned earlier today that we were going to have a fire tonight. Now, obviously, everything is soaking wet in this forest. we're not going to be able to burn that. So let me explain how this is possible. What I have here are some Duraflame Fire Start bricks. Each one of these weighs only 4.5 ounces. I have 4 of these, and I'm curious to see, first off, how much heat do they put off and how long they burn. For a rainforest like this, I've been thinking about solutions, right? When I want to have a fire but everything's soaking wet, what can I do? This might be an option. Will it check all the boxes? I don't know. Let's find out together. We'll do that later on tonight. As you all can see, the sun is going down. It's getting dark. It's still raining lightly. I was able to get the radar to pull up, and it looks like the heavy stuff is going to hit some point in time after midnight. For now, it's just a misty light rain. The most impressive aspect for today are the temperatures, right? Right now, it's about 40 degrees, and I'll be honest, I'm chilly. I do have a down jacket. I may put it on, gloves, hat, mask, all that stuff. But compared to the last trip, this is so incredibly different, and I love it. Truth be told, I've been loving every single second of this. Holding on to this feels amazing. I tell you what, everyone, while I'm thinking about it, I need to do some shout outs. I have really fallen behind in this area, and I apologize. Hopefully everyone understands that I've got a lot going on right now. So to start off here, Joseph, thank you so much for the skillet. I really do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to using it. Then I will put it on my wall. You know what I mean. Thank you so much, buddy. Christopher, thank you so very much for the coffee, and thank you so much for the turtle for my mom. She really does appreciate it. She named it, and she keeps it next to her bed. It certainly put a smile on her face. Greg, thank you so very much for the meals and for the instant coffee. You are the man, and I hope you're doing well. Joel, thank you so much for the freeze-dried meal, the freeze-dried coffee. You, without a doubt, know how to fuel my adventures. Or maybe I should say our adventures, because, folks, it's not just me out here, it's you and I. By the way, my friend, I bet you have seen some wild things with your storm chases in Texas. One day, I want to join you. That would be a ton of fun. Michael, thank you so very much for the coffee from Germany. I cannot wait to try that out. I really do appreciate it, my friend. Joe, my friend, thank you so much for your friendship and also your wife's barbecue sauce. It is amazing. Make sure to check out Joe's YouTube channel, which is Larger Than Life Adventures. Oh yeah. Thank you so much, Joe and wife. Another Greg, thank you so much for the meals that you sent. I really do appreciate it. I've never heard of that company before, but I'm looking forward to trying them out. Thank you so much. Lastly, we have Jeanette. Thank you for everything that you sent in. You are incredible. I really do appreciate it. All of that Trader Joe's coffee, thank you so much. I mean, we do not live close to a Trader Joe's, so you've definitely stocked me up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. By the way, Jeanette likes her coffee just as strong as I do. She's mixing like 3 packages of coffee together. I bet she doesn't even shake anymore. I don't either, but I promise you, if you mix together 3 packages like I do, like Jeanette does, you'll have the trembles for sure. Everyone, thank you so much. I do appreciate it, and I apologize for falling behind. Folks, the jalapenos in this, so good. Thank you all so much for keeping me fed and energized. I really do appreciate it. I don't think I've purchased a backpacking meal in, I don't know, 7 years maybe. You all seriously, literally have kept me fed on all of these trips. I haven't purchased coffee in about the same amount of time, 7 or 8 years. Seriously. That is all because of you all, and I appreciate it so very much. But look at this. Now respect it. And let me dump that all over the place. Yes, I intended it to be this way because I like it super runny. I like it this runny, okay? I intended for this to happen. I can't look at you. I have to. I'm looking over here now. All right. You guys got me. I put a little bit too much water in this. It is still really, really good. But this is not biscuits and gravy. It is biscuits and gravy soup or something. I'm not very clever, but it is still really, really good. This takes me back a number of years ago. Susie and I were doing a cross-country trip. We're in the back of the tundra, camping out at a gas station. Who knows where? Kansas, maybe? I don't know. We drove all day, all night. We're super tired. So it's my job to make dinner. We're having biscuits and gravy from Mountain House, and I'm just not paying attention. I'm trying to film, I'm talking to Susie. We're at this gas station out in the middle of nowhere. So we had biscuits and gravy soup. I don't think Susie was super impressed. I'm not sure if she was like thrilled with me that night, you know? Let me tell you something about Susie. She is so kind and so sweet. I can mess up that biscuits and gravy and she wouldn't complain. She never does. But deep down, I could feel her frustration. One thing is for certain, everyone, I cannot wait to get our fire going. It's a chilly night. This warm meal, this warm soup, is definitely taking the edge off, but a fire, that will be nice. It will be interesting to see whether or not those 4 logs are enough to provide like a nice campfire. I don't know how long they burn for. In a rainforest like this, it's not impossible to get a fire going. It's just a ton of work. As I'm eating this, I'm thinking about how everybody has a different style when it comes to backpacking and food. So my style, freeze-dried meals, sometimes too much water, sometimes too little. I'm not gonna measure anything, right? That's my style most of the time. My buddy Corey, he's the type of guy, like, he's gonna cook up a feast. He's gonna make chili and biscuits while out backpacking. His backpack is so loaded full of stuff, mainly food, that it's like ripping at the seams. That's how it is for him. My buddy Chris is the exact opposite of Corey. He brings with him just slop and junk, like whatever he had in the cabinet, that's what he's taking with him. You'll go out on a backpacking trip and you'll see his food supplies and you'll just be like, what is all this crap, you know? That is his style. Former Marine, or once a Marine, always a Marine, you know, whatever. You all really should see Corey's like food selection when he goes out on a trip. It'll blow your mind. I mean, it really will. Like an overnight trip, and he'll have like an entire container of peanut butter, along with like everything needed to make lasagna or something. I mean, that is his style. I'll be there with my biscuits and gravy soup, and my buddy Chris be eating, you know, like a piece of bologna, a Slim Jim, you know, a package of like mashed potatoes, and who knows what. Good times. How do you all like to cook when you're out backpacking? Comment down below. By the way, there's no right or wrong answer. Let's get a timer going, and let's see how long these burn for. It is certainly chilly, everyone. But luckily, these little fire blocks are getting going now. It's producing just enough heat to kind of take the edge off. And they're not really fully burning either. They are a pain to get going though. I've had to like light these, relight, light again. But now they're finally taking off. I could have swore I heard something walking through the woods. Something big enough to break branches and whatnot. There are black bear up here, but that would be highly irregular for them to come this close to camp. I definitely heard something though. I just don't know what. Now everyone, we have a fire. This is pretty nice actually. 2 of them are really burning, the other 2 are catching on. I have to say though, I'm impressed with how much heat is coming off of these. By the way, I purchased these. It may seem like an ad, it's not. I'm just trying something out. But yeah, this is definitely working. Now that all of these little fire logs are burning, it is putting off a lot of heat. In fact, with this tarp here, this is really nice. I'm quite impressed, folks. 4 is good. I think 6 would be like the sweet spot. By the way, folks, I want to let you all know that Susie is doing good. It's been a while since she's been in an adventure or in a video. We received a message from someone, I think it was a woman, and basically she wanted to know what happened to Susie. She's still there, you know, it's not like we got divorced or something. You know, it's like when it comes to like filming videos and whatnot, she doesn't really like it. So it's one of those things where I've always had to like kind of encourage her to go camping, to do a video. She just doesn't feel comfortable on camera, so she's just working away, helping out with family stuff and all that. She's Mrs. Internet Girl. She handles a lot of messages and whatnot for me. But yeah, Susie's doing great. She will be in an adventure or a video coming up soon, I promise. Right now, just things are crazy and hectic. It sure is nice to be out on a backpacking trip, folks. It's been a while. Filming backpacking trips like this, these are my favorite. I will say though, that filming trips like this are a lot harder than say like a car camping video. With car camping videos, typically you have a lot of space to, you know, do what you want to, move the tripod and all that stuff. When you're out in the forest, it can be maddening, folks. It's just something that you don't see, but for myself, like I want to take the tripod, move it over here to change the shot. The tripod is like knocking into trees, knocking into sticks. At the same time, I have to be careful with what I'm doing because of these spruce trees. I don't want to poke my eyes out or anything. In truth, I love filming these adventures. For me, it's a lot of fun. I get to be creative. I get to mess with the colors. Sometimes I get it way wrong. Most of the time I get it all right, you know. I'm constantly testing out new cameras and whatnot. Oftentimes I'll film with cameras that I can't even talk about because I have like NDAs with camera companies and whatnot. That is a ton of fun. The fire is almost out, and it burned for 1 hour. It was like 57 minutes. So that's not bad. Not bad at all, really. These little logs definitely made tonight enjoyable. Enjoyable and warm. We got everything done in the nick of time. It is now raining out there. I haven't heard any thunder or anything like that. But it sounds like the rain event is about to begin. My plan is to basically get some shut-eye. If it starts acting up, if it starts storming, I'll bring you all back. But everybody, it's been a good day, and I'm certainly getting tired. I will see you all in the morning, or I'll bring you all back if something interesting happens. Good night, everybody. It is update time, everyone. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. It's been raining all night long since roughly 11 p.m. It's a good solid rain. Nothing heavy, nothing crazy, no thunderstorms. And now that I'm thinking about it, no wind either. It's quite calm. The reason why I'm up right now, I heard something. I'm not sure what it was. It was loud. A crashing sound maybe? A tree coming down? I'm not sure. I was dreaming pretty heavy and just kind of was startled awake. Something over here. I'm not sure. But, I don't hear anything now. But at the same time, it's so loud, I really can't hear anything anyways. I'm gonna go back to bed. I have my alarm set for 5:30. I will see you all then. Good night, everybody. Oh, man. Did it get you? Good night, folks. Oh yeah. My friends, it's not disgusting, but it's pretty close. Very strong coffee on a cool morning. Current temperature, 45 degrees. It's interesting, last night as the rain came in, it went from like 40 to 55, like almost instantly. When I hopped inside of this thing last night, I was raging hot. It was so hot that like all the bugs came out, like the black flies and whatnot. But the temperatures dropped again, cool and comfortable, but it was pretty interesting. What was also interesting was whatever it is that I heard last night. It was up there, for sure. It was really loud. But I don't know what it was. I was dreaming away, dreaming hard, and it startled me awake. Kind of like a tree coming down, maybe? I don't know. It never did get really windy or anything like that. It didn't storm last night. It just rained all night long. As it stands right now, it's a light rain. Still kind of foggy. It's a perfect day. Cheers. I slept great last night. The airflow inside of this was amazing. Slept good. Just listening to the rain all night long. I really am fortunate to have such a nice place to camp. I love the green forest. At the same time, there is something rather spooky about this place. It's not spooky all the time, but ever so often, you'll get that feeling like something's out there with you, something's watching. It's at those moments where, like, the forest goes completely silent. Not right now, but it does happen. I get asked fairly often to do a series of tarp setups. I've actually done some in the past, but over the years, it really has dawned on me that doing those type of videos doesn't make a lot of sense. When you go out camping, you're going to set up your tarp in the way that the area tells you to. The area is going to give you a handful of options, and you'll have to pick and choose the right one. Hopefully you do. It's not always easy. Just like this here. I decided to do a shelf setup. Then when the rain came in, I turned it into an A-frame. And it worked out really, really well for me. That's kind of the thing about tarps. You have to be prepared to make changes on the fly. And oftentimes you will. Master a tarp and you will master the outdoors. It really is that simple. They are the most versatile piece of kit that you could possibly bring with you. The plan this morning is pretty simple. Gonna pack up here in a minute. It's time to get out of here. This was a really nice adventure out here in the green forest. This is such a beautiful place. I mean, it really is just amazing. I've spent a lot of time exploring this forest, but I haven't seen all of it, maybe a quarter of it. A lot of it is really, really hard to navigate. Just because, like, the underbrush is so thick. But anyways, cheers, my friends, cheers. Thank you all so much for joining me on this trip. And just like that, it has started to rain. This was not here yesterday. I'm so confused, everybody. This is a large tree. You can see here that the root base has been snapped off. But the question that I have is, where did it come from? It didn't come out of the ground right here or anywhere around here. This is perplexing. Yeah. Okay. I'm just not sure what to think or what to say. This is without a doubt unusual. I don't know. What I do know is that this was not here yesterday when we made our way through the forest. Interesting, everyone. Very interesting. One person could technically move it, you know, just by dragging it around, but that'd be a ton of work. And it would be difficult to do in a forest like this. I don't know. I have no idea. Comment down below if you do, but I'm stumped on this one. If you enjoyed this episode, do hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. It's a great way to support this channel. If you want to support the channel in other ways, a channel that's agenda-free, YouTube and Patreon, you can become a member. I appreciate it. Make sure to check out my second YouTube channel, A Quiet Place Adventures. Every single week, a brand new adventure is there. By the way, to all of those who are supporting that channel, I really do appreciate it. Almost 50,000 subscribers in no time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone, I'm going home. I'm getting out of here. Strength and honor. Bye for now.